have winning parties, parties who are participatory, the participatory process, that's where you can have success in mediation. And lastly, confidentiality. I cannot overlook that. Confidentiality is the bedrock of any mediation. I cannot tell you something, because in mediation you have what we call private sessions, have general sessions, where you meet only with one party and have one-on-one discussion. I cannot disclose what you even if the person tells you the truth of the situation, you cannot go and tell the other party without the consent of this person telling you. So it's that serious. So confidentiality is one of the major bedrock of mediation that you must not disclose. You can't be disclosed to the other party, and you cannot disclose to the other. So then the process of mediation starts with the preparation phase, where the mediator will prepare the parties, try to get information, make arrangements for the rooms, venue, and all that. Contact the parties ahead. Then you go into the proper mediation. Both parties will be there. We call it the opening phase. At the opening phase, what we do there is you hear one side. Of course, introduce yourself, everybody, tell them about the principles, the process, ground rules, everything you need to do. Then you hear this side. You hear the other side without judging. You said you listen, we don't. You listen, we don't. You will not judge. Stomach everything you want to judge. People are very eager. But I have a friend, as you are speaking, you never allow you lunch without giving you what to say. Just listen, you let me do lunch. Do you understand? So you are going to be very patient. The rule is 80-20. Am I right? Yes. You listen and then take notes. Summarize what they say. Let them believe in you as a mediator. Take everything, summarize them clearly, say what they said, summary, and all that, to explain the principles, clarify any misunderstanding they may have at that opening phase. Then you go into probing phase. Probing is when you have private sessions with one side, private sessions with the other side. You keep going back and forth until you get something tangible that will help them resolve their cases. So their permission to disclose some things. And then you lay the foundation for bargaining. And that bargaining, you hear is monetary, you decide how much this person is willing to deliver more that person, what's their zone of possible agreement. So people will come with their so far that they can't go with this particular level. You must be able to work with that, their zones, their agreements, and their bargaining power to be able to get them to a resolution. And then they may be deadlocks, so they are not moving, they are not shifting. I know that we just need a tiny thing to break this deadlock. How to break deadlocks is something you teach and train at the mediation skills training. Do you understand? So we teach you how to break deadlocks. The mediator's role is to be able to identify deadlocks and see how to break them if possible. And then, of course, you will optimize negotiations with both parties. And at the conclusion, if they are able to resolve, you draft terms of settlement with them. Remember that the solution comes from them. They will tell you what they want to agree on. Put it down, check everything, ensure that this is how you want it. Ensure the other party this is how you want it. And then make sure the agreement is very smart. You cannot be seen as a mediator to draft an agreement that you cannot enforce. You cannot enforce. Let me give an example of an agreement. Where you have an agreement like the respondent shall transfer ownership of land that belongs to the federal government to the claimant. Now, that might not even say federal government. It might be just transfer of ownership, but that's the land we're talking about. It's not even your own. Do you understand? Not that you have not done your due diligence and all that. You are not even sure if that property belongs to you, and say you transfer without stating the date, time, or something. Or maybe it's a monetary thing, and you say, okay, this person will, in full and final settlement of the dispute, will pay up all the outstanding fees and anything that will come up thereafter. You don't know the amount. How will you pay it? Is it monthly? Is it daily? Is it yearly? Is it over 20 years? Which account are you paying this into? Is it the mediator's account? Is it the party's account? You have to make sure that your agreement is very, 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 very smart. Because if you get to court, the problem we'll have is that you can't enforce it. So it's just like you have wasted all your time with an agreement that you cannot enforce. So that's the thing about mediation agreement. So you ensure that your agreement is something, you check it to ensure it's very smart, specific, it's measurable, it's time bound, it's reasonable. Do you understand? So that's about that. So, and then of course, parties will sign the agreement, witnessed by a third party if possible, And the ultimate essence of mediation to preserve ongoing relationship is preserved. And that's one of the most beautiful things about mediation. Even if you don't resolve completely, so people have not had the opportunity to sit one-on-one to even discuss an issue before. They are meeting for the first time in a mediation session, and they're able to express themselves, cry out everything they need to do. In that instance, they have something to take away from it. They may not agree on the paper, but the fact that they've been able to discuss. I remember one mediation session that woman had issues with the husband, they've not seen for years. She had children, she stopped giving everything that they need. She was so embittered. But they met for the first time. That was the first time both of them were talking about this issue. And the fact that she was able to express herself, made it even like that was her best, that was her takeaway from it. They didn't talk to them, but the fact that she was able to talk, but they never see eye, but they saw and then she was able to express herself, hear the man, and understand some things, even though they did not resolve it. So that's the beauty about mediation, to preserve relationship and to be able to discuss whatever it is that you want to be discussed. So I guess that's the end to me. Thank you very much. Yes.
So, do I need a lawyer in?
Yes, you don't need a lawyer for mediation.
I don't need a lawyer. It means I can just come into the Lagos.
Yes, it's party driven. You understand?
So I represent myself.
You can. And is it free? Is it free? We have one that is free, one that is not free.
What's the difference?
No.
That's like lawyer that pay for police.
Okay, so how about this? When you walk in on our regular day that you come, you pay mediation session fees. But you don't pay mediation session fees until the other party responds, because you need to invite the other party to mediation. So that's
Write letter.
we write. So of course we write, we follow up. We will do the writing. Maybe not to do that, but we write. Yes. Then, on the one that is free, we have funded by Lagos State. It's called the Lagos Settlement. It happens twice a year. I think one is in July and one is in November. So that one is free for Lagosians. But it's a free program.
Only people
Resident. No. I think that's it's not Lagosian. It's not. Because there are people who are not Lagosian. No, we don't even ask for it. That's it. So that's why I want to take it back. But maybe tomorrow we can start asking for last round. It might get to that point. Okay. So, but that is free. It's a week-long program. That is a week. It can be extended.
Does the mediation act say anything about the maximum number of times we can have sessions? Unlike court cases where you're just talking about for years. Does this mediation act say
the time?
Yes, there is.
Okay. Yes, there is. For an amount that's not settlement, the one that you pay, if it's a court-referred matter, we have a 30-day timeline. After which, that's on the date of first mediation. After which, we send it back to referral court. For working cases that you pay, for court-referred, we don't pay for that anyways. But for working cases that you pay, that's one we do it for. It used to be 180 days, but we have reduced it to 60 days now, so that our parties can be very serious about it.
Thank you.
My question is if there is a mediation and the other party does not, is there like a time when the other party does not respond? If you are attempting to do a mediation and then the other party does not respond, how long does, how long before the court decides that okay, we can't support it?
Yes.
And then what would you advise in that kind of case?
Okay, so when we have a process, because it's an institution, so we have processes for this thing. So if it's a court-referred matter, because if it's a court-referred matter, it's like a working case.
I'm talking of a working case.
If it's a working case, we have a 7-day time from the first letter when we write to you to respond. If within 7 days you refuse to respond, you do a reminder. It can be by letter, it can be by phone calls. If after that 7 days or maybe a period longer than that, depending on the circumstance, Then we will schedule parties before an AGR judge. We have AGR judges who are serving judges of the High Court. So it's usually used to be 7 days, but to be honest with you, it is the time days that they give us that we work with. Because by the time we play 7 days, the judges are very busy. So they'll give us a day that is, we have maybe once or twice in a month when we have a judge session. So we schedule all those meetings that particular day in the month. So that parties will come and give reasons why they need to submit. So they will meet with the judge. It can be online and physical, because we have online cases too. So the judge will now give the directive.
One more thing I want to ask, in the case of like family disputes, let's make a scenario where you experience I got the child protection network in Lagos State. So in a situation where, for example, we know about this of child abuse. So let's say there's an early stage incident, like I'm at home in Lagos, but as a coordinator, you notice that there's a tendency to do harm. Is that something that you prefer to the mediation center before harm is done?
No, that's but there's no dispute.
Sorry, yeah, I want to ask. You know, in local government offices, we have some mediation center there. Are they similar? Are they the same to the multi-door courthouse, or those are separate?
Yes, they are separate. That's citizens relation bureau. Yes. So let them be court connected. Do you understand? We are court connected. So we are related to the courts. CMB is more of grassroots, and they are everywhere. We are not everywhere yet. And we are connected to the courts of Lagos. And the kind of cases we do are commercial high-ticket cases. We also do some grassroots cases as well, but more of commercial cases, oil and gas, banking, aviation, and all that. So those are the differences that we have. But we are court connected, and we send court matters, and goes back to court for distribution. One more. They say my time is up.
I just wanted to know that there are some cases that is taken to the police station. So like, how can we like Okay, I said, there are some cases that people take to the police station and the police will tell them, okay, write a statement or something like that. Is that a form of mediation? Do you still need to come to the courthouse to do those kind of cases, or does that fly as
That's not a form of mediation. But maybe it's a criminal case and they actually need to go to the police to write a statement. That's a process. But the kind of cases that come to multi-door courthouse, we also do restorative justice cases. It has a criminal element of it, but there's RJ cases has its own nuances, its own, what is called. So we don't take cases from the police yet, but I know that there's something in the restorative justice practice direction of Lagos State that speaks to it, but it's not well developed yet. So we receive criminal cases that are not felonious, that are simple cases, and have restorative justice for them. But we don't. So the ones that you go to the police station to write a statement, probably cases that need the attention of the police. Maybe, but for us, we have the case of our case. Thank you. Is that all?
short?
Do you use the
All right.
Quickly, I want to find out, you said you work with some AGR judges. Are they across the state or just in specific locations? Across.
Thank you very much. Thanks for listening.
Please let's give our boss. Mrs. Olusola, both are several that we greatly appreciate your delivery. I believe that our members are better enlightened, because before we came here, most of us would have had an idea of what this is all about. But when you brought us to England and to knowledge, I believe that people will now understand what the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse is all about. So, on behalf of Rotary International District 9112, I want to present this award of appreciation to you, Mrs. Owolewa, Acting Director and CEO, Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse, in recognition of the valuable service and dedication to excellence in the workshop of the Peace Building and Conflict Prevention and Resolution Committee of our great districts on the mediation and modes of resolving disputes in our environment. The guidance has helped our participants elevate both their skills and mindset. Please give her a round of applause. And this award is presented today, Saturday, the next day of May 2026. Thank you so much. Thank you.
One more. So, one more. No, sorry. Thank you.
I welcome the district secretary. You are welcome.
Thank you very much. We're going to do something very interactive right now. The people going to their seats, I feel like making you be in this lineup. So what I want to do now, we're going into communication. The topic is effective communication. So we all communicate, even right now we're communicating. But how effective is it? It is when the other person acts that will know how effective what we've communicated really is. So right now we're going to, everyone will stand up and make 2 lines. We're going to be in 2 lines. It's called the whispering game. The whispering game, you'll find out very shortly. So I need people, as you say, we are in this room. So I need 8 people on this line and maybe 8 on this line, or 9 on the other line. You will have to make space because there will be, you can use that side if it's affecting. Like this, so let them be on the other line. Yes. And, okay. See, hello, that line has to go this way and the other line that way. Thank you. Are you sure you want to be part of this game? Just sit down, okay, and observe.
Yes, let's see that.
I don't think. So we are going to, the exercise is this. Hello, pay attention please. You're going to listen to something from either myself or the director. You're going to pass it on to the next person as much as possible, exactly how it was passed to you, all the way to the end. That the first person will stand aside with us and not go, hello. You're not going to tell anybody what I told you. You're just going to communicate what the last person communicated to you, to the next person. Do you understand? It's clear, right? Whatever they whisper to you, whisper it to the next person. Try as much as possible to say it exactly as it was said. Is it clear? Yes. Okay, so at the end of it, the last person is going to tell me what I told the first person. That is clear, right? Yes. My system has, okay. So we're starting immediately. I will take this time. Thank you.
We are done here.
Okay, who was the first person on this side? Please come on. Okay, you want to be able to see. Okay, please come here. No, come here. The last person too on this side should come here. Where's the last person on this side? Who took the last on this side? Where's the first person on this side? So the last person on side A, kindly tell us the last person on side A will tell us now.
Okay, it's about a 300 level student who took a loan to go to Kakawa.
So the conversation is exactly what you were told. How was it said? Don't tell me it's about.
It's about a 300.
Please, let's hear.
It's about a 300 level student. What she said. Okay, sorry. What she said, it's about a 300 level student who took a loan to Kakawa. Yes.
Thank you.
Who took a loan?
Who took it to Ikeja and got a silver pigeon from Kakawa. After a few days, his car got spoiled and he tried to return the car to Kakawa. Kakawa did not get the car back.
That's it. So, now, can you hear this now? Let's hear the original story.
Musa is a 300 level student at the Lagos State University. No university. He inherited some amount of money and decided to buy a car. He then walked into Kakawa Motors and bought a silver Volkswagen for 2 million naira. 2 days later, the new car refuses to come on after a mechanic checked it. The mechanic told Musa that the car is damaged. He returns the car to Kakawa Motors and asks for a refund, but the car seller rejects both the car and the request.
Can we clap for ourselves on this side? Now, let us hear this side. The last person on the A will tell us what.
Miriam is working for
company and lost her full figures due to negligence. Can we clap for her? Now, let's get the first person.
Miriam is a young lady working for Sweet Bakery. During the course of battling her job, she lost her first four fingers to an incident. Four fingers. Her four fingers. She lost her four fingers to an accident. Miriam, due to the accident, was not able to walk, and she sought compensation from the company, but she was not able to walk. The company denied her, saying that it was due to her negligence.
Can we clap for her? I will read what was said. Miriam is an employee of Sweet Bakery. She has worked with a sweet bakery for over 5 years. In the course of her work, one of the machines cut off half of her four fingers. Due to her inability to work, her employment was terminated after 6 months. In her quest for justice, Miriam sued the company, demanding for a compensation of 50 million. Sweet Bakeries is adamant, maintaining that it was her carelessness and negligence that led to her injury. That was the original story. Okay, can we clap for ourselves? Now, we are taking on effective communication. Effective communication. How can you ensure that what you are communicating, because like I said in the beginning, every day we are communicating, even within ourselves, with our children, in the workplace of the road, there's communication occurring. Then how effective is your communication? Because in a bus, you'll find that you might see something and the bus conductor can chat and there's war. Maybe you guys will keep exchanging words till you get to where you are going. What are the characteristics of effective communication? Your communication must be what? It must be carrying a message that is clear. What do I mean by being clear? It must be without confusion. It must not be ambiguous. And then that message must be correct, accurate, and true. That message must be concise and complete. You can use few words so that you don't confuse the person, but you will deliver the message with accurate details. In your messaging, you should also be compassionate. You should be kind in your communication. That is what prevents misunderstandings. You must be empathetic rather, and helpful. And put yourself in the other person's shoes to understand what they are trying to communicate. This is now in a situation of maybe mediation. Your communication must be such that the other party does not take offense in what you are trying to communicate. And then you must have what we call listening ear. So for communication to be effective, you must use active listening skills in the part of the person listening. In the communication that we just passed now, you can see that though the first person tried to capture as much details as possible in what was being conveyed, there was no way, as it was trickling down, it was losing its value. So communication as much as possible needs to be direct and clear and not too much so that it doesn't become lost in transmission. I like that you said like this one. So what are the types of communication? You have the verbal communication and the non-verbal communication. I really miss the fact that we can't project because we have things that we have visual things to show you what we're trying to communicate. Now, in verbal communication, it's a person to person, maybe face to face. Sometimes not that with the new technology nowadays, you can actually communicate real time and still see the non-verbal cues. So in verbal communication, in listening to a verbal communication, you have to acknowledge what you're hearing. You will be nodding, You understand? Just so that the other person sees that you understand what they are saying. You must be able to validate or reframe or summarize just to be able to understand, to be sure that you got what the other person is trying to communicate. So when I gave that message, the person I was talking to said, it's too long. I asked, should I repeat it? She said, yes. So that is trying to ensure that what we communicated was understood. And then in her passing it on, I don't know if the other person bothered to say, what are you saying? Sometimes in communication, you can actually jot down, take down what is being said, so that you don't misunderstand. It's like a boss calling you to the office and saying, oh, I have something you need to do. Take this dictation. And you're standing there, taking the dictation on your head. Please, do you think that thing will come out the way they said it? It will become a short version of what was said. So communication works both ways. The person communicating needs to be clear, and the person listening needs to, reconfirm, validate, reframe, reflect. If it's something you understand, you need to ensure that you understand and that message is clear, such that it's effective. What are the non-verbal communication that we have? You have the body language. You see, when I was talking, she said, and already I knew she was in discomfort, even though my own message was shorter than the one for the B. So non-verbal communication includes body language, eye contact, facial expression, voice tone. In Africa, we have plenty of non-verbal communication, especially with our kids. The child is misbehaving and you stare, this steady stare. That child looks at you, just quietly stop whatever it is he's doing. Sometimes it's body language, sometimes it's, somebody is talking to you and you're carrying your phone, surfing through it. Are you listening? You may be listening, but that person is feeling like he's talking to a wall. So non-verbal communication, it's important to pay attention to our non-verbal communication. Maybe even especially as a mediator, if for example you want to become a mediator. I have when a director was telling you that it was telling a story and somebody was already so judgmental. You can't afford to do that. You will remain with a clear face, maybe a smile, not that you will not have any expression at all, but your expression has to be empathetic, not sympathetic. We don't do sympathy. Okay, so I won't go into that. Those are things that come into our various trainings. So your communication has to be clear so that the other person understands you. Has to be concise, has to be correct, has to be effectively communicated in a language the other person understands. Because there are barriers to communication, and it includes ambiguity. That is where the story being conveyed has so many details that are unnecessary. It will now lose the essence of the communication. And the person listening might not even pick the key words anymore. And then you have a language barrier where I don't speak French and you are communicating something to me in French. Are you communicating? Somebody in French, a Frenchman will understand perfectly. But I that don't understand, maybe I'll just hear the bonjour part of it, and the rest is lost in translation. So there's also demography, even gender barrier, where when women are talking something, some men have no clue. Do you understand? So if you are talking from that level, the communication is lost to some people. You even have belief barriers and demography. You understand? Where you are coming from can be a barrier. You might go to the far north and you are talking something that they don't accept. Nobody will even understand what you're saying. So you have to be mindful of the receiving end of your communication in trying to communicate. I'll bring it into mediation, for example. Maybe you have two parties that have come for mediation, and one of them is not learned, is not educated. What is the right word? Let me not use the wrong word. One of them is not English literate, okay? And then you are there, blowing your grammar, and the other person is just looking, maybe even nodding and smiling. Do you know you've lost that person? And whatever agreement you come with that person can be contested in court. You can turn around and say, I was forced. I don't understand what they were saying. The rest were nodding, so I too was nodding. So we need to be careful. In such a situation, how do you mitigate? You will get somebody who will translate, or even like a multi-door courthouse. If you have such a case, we will give you two of them understand that language. You might get somebody who will be able to speak on using that language. You understand? So there are different ways to mitigate barriers in communication. What are the other things? I wanted to speak extensively on communication, but we're going to leave it because we can't even project what we have to talk about. We're leaving it, but we're not leaving it really, because I'm about to go into our various training programs now for you to understand, and in case you are interested in having a career in mediation, for example, or in mediation advocacy. I have somebody who asked, do you have to come for mediation with a lawyer? The answer is no, but actually, sometimes it's good to come with it. It doesn't have to be a lawyer. They are called mediation advocates. To come with somebody who has a thorough understanding of the processes of mediation. That person will be able to help guide you through the process so that you can achieve the settlement as quickly as possible. And then also to checkmate the other side if you've come with their counsel. Do you understand? That person will be able to advise you how to flow with the process. Now, in the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse, we have over the years developed a very high-profile, world-class ADR training institution. We have several training programs in the Multi-Door Courthouse. I just mentioned one of them, which is the Mediation Advocacy Program. The MAT for sure is for lawyers and non-lawyers that are professionals who wish to learn the art of leading parties to a mediation session and is able to guide them through that process. That person will first of all be trained on the process itself to understand the rudiments of mediation, so that he can now work maybe with a law firm, offer himself to lead any of their parties who wishes to go to drop litigation and opt for mediation in resolving their dispute. What this person does is more like assisting the mediator, because we teach there for such a person to learn how to partner with the mediator and they work together so that the mediation process is smooth. Because when you have certain people who are not mediation inclined, or a lawyer, a counselor who doesn't like mediation, because some of them feel that mediation has taken away money from their table, but that is not true. They'll tell you mediation makes the matter to end quickly. Yes, that is true. But ending quickly does not mean you've lost your revenue. You will still ask them for your money, because each time they engage you, whether you're a lawyer or a non-lawyer, while the engagement is being made, you will decide how much your money is. That decision is not hinged on how many times that mediation will occur. Because some mediations end in one sitting, while some might take 3 or 4 or 5 times, but we have a time frame for each to end. So that mediation advocate is actually a beautiful way a beautiful way to get an additional stream of income. You can still be doing whatever it is you're doing, but be an advocate in mediation by encouraging people with dispute to not take it to court, rather to bring it maybe to the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse or any other ADR center and have it mediated. So that is it. The mediation advocacy training is geared towards sensitizing lawyers and other professionals seeking to be ADR referrals in the act. The success of this program, like I said, has made more clients to be ADR prefer ADR, to prefer mediation rather than litigation. So when you take this course, which is an online, it's a virtual course, and it's 1 day. I think it's 1 day for 4 hours or 5 hours, I'm not sure. This course will help you to have an additional means of livelihood. Okay? I will send out flyers that will tell you more about this program. We do it 3 times a year. The first one is around April, the first one has not. The next one is in July, and the last one of the year will be in November. So those dates have been communicated on the flyers shared once they are ready. How much is this program? Program coordinator. I think the MAT is 100,000. Okay, MAT is 50. You have that. Mediation advocacy training, an online program, is 50,000. Then we have the mediation skills training. Now, this is for the people that want to become mediators themselves. Like just like the mediation advocacy training, you don't have to be a lawyer. It is for professionals in all fields, because we have banking mediators, we have mediators even for entertainment and sport, commercial dispute, landlord and tenant, everything, family dispute, etc. Now, if you want to be a mediator, we have a training for that. It's a 6-day, highly intensive, highly interactive session that will teach you, train you in the rudiments of the mediation process. It starts on a Monday and ends on a Saturday. You can't engage any other thing in those periods, because we start from 9 a.m. and will not end before 5 p.m. So it's full and intense. Okay, we normally hold this training program at the Judiciary Training Center, somewhere here within the GRA. Now, the cost for this program is 510,000. It will go up very soon, but for now, it is 510,000. At the end of this course, it's a three-stage course. So the first 2 days is called the instruction days. That's when the instruction faculty, hello, one house days. That is when the instruction faculty will teach participants every of the theory concerning mediation, on being a mediator, concerning the process, everything. It will teach you gravitas. It will teach you how to communicate, what we've been talking. It will teach you everything you need to know. It will teach you how to walk. It will teach you how to talk, how to listen. It is very intensive and very enjoyable to me, if I dare say. And we are world class because we're following the teaching method of the UK CEDR. CEDR, CEDR is called Centre for Effective Dispute Resolution in the UK. It is their standard we are following, and we will add more because our hours are more than theirs. So it's a program I will advise and encourage people to join. So long as you have reached, you have attained the age of 25, you are a graduate, you can speak fluently, because we teach in English, is our language there. We will not, I don't think you will pass if you are unable to communicate in English. And we see that once in a while. Where somebody who joins the program, unfortunately, is unable to communicate and ask questions clearly to generate the information you need to get to a resolution in the district. So after the training in mediation, some people also register for what we call the mentorship program. The LFDC mentorship program is for those who have finished, who are certified mediators, but who are not yet sure that they can stand in a room and really mediate real cases. The mentorship program can last between 6 months and 1 year, depending on your own schedule, because you'll be doing your work and then you'll be assigned matters. It comes in 3 stages. Sorry, while I was talking about the I forgot to mention the other 2 stages. I said there's instruction, there's also the coaching for 2 days, and then there's the assessment for 2 days. And there's even post-course assignments you take home and bring back within 2 weeks. So it's a lot, but at the end of the day, if you succeed, you will use it and use it well. At the end of your mediation skills training, you are actually a mediator. But to make yourself an outstanding mediator, we usually advise that you register, enroll for the mentorship program. Now, this mentorship program has 3 stages also. The first stage is the observation stage, and you will do 2 full cases with a mentor. A mentor is a senior mediator who already is an expert in the field. So you will sit at the side where the mediation is going on, and you will be observing, and then you will be filling a form and writing a report on your observations. You will follow with that matter till it ends. If it ends in one sitting, good luck to you, but maybe not the best. But if it takes 4 or 5 times, you will be there for all those times until it ends. That's when we will score that you have completed one observation. Then you go for a second matter and complete that observation till that matter concludes. Whether it settles or not doesn't matter. When we say a matter has concluded, they are done with it. Some matters don't settle. It goes back to court, or they come back another time when they change their mind or a key issue that is the bone of contention. Now, at the second stage, when you have done the 2 observations, you do what we call co-mediation. Co-mediation is when the mentee now sits beside the mentor and they are doing live mediation. The mentor might have a meeting before that co-mediation, and then they will decide maybe she will commence the mediation, take the opening part of it, or maybe they will just be asking questions intermittently. Usually, mentor makes the decision on how that will go. But the essence is that you are now part of the mediation team. You are now mediating too, but with somebody there to guide in case you go off line. Remember what the director said when she was talking. The key word in what we do is neutrality and confidentiality. So we bring in somebody who has trained with the trust and belief that you have learned something from the mediation, which teaches you how not to divulge what you've heard. Because you are listening to people's real life stories. And then, like she mentioned, we do receive very important people in mediation. Artists, name them. You cannot go out and start saying, oh, Lagos came in today, come and see. You've lost it. Do you understand? Or I mediated Lagos. You don't do that. Okay? Then at the end of the co-mediation, and you have completed 2 sets of co-mediation completely, you are now due for the solo mediation. Solo mediation is when that mentee now takes charge. So the mentor sits where mentee was sitting during the observation and is just observing everything and taking note where she's got it right, where he's got it wrong. Can step in if the mentee goes off course completely, so that we don't lose that session altogether. Because parties are watching. If you go off, they can decide to storm off. Some people can decide to write petition against the institution. So those are the stages for mentorship. It is intense, but you will learn. At the end of it, you know your audience. You can take on any matter. You can actually take on any matter and be able to handle it solo without somebody observing or pointing out. Same mediation online. So it will teach you how to bring parties into caucus. Because when you are taking a mediation, you're not sitting in the same room all the time. There's a time you will now separate them and hear more from one side, and then call the other side and hear more from them. Just to see where there is likelihood for them to agree. Okay? So in the online version, you're taught how to navigate these rooms and communicate and use the dashboard, the whiteboard, and everything. And how to also sign agreements online. The beauty of learning to be an online mediator is that you can mediate from any part of the world. We have mediators in Canada, UK, you name it. When we assign online cases to them, the parties are not aware that the person speaking to them, and they all look like they are in the same room in that laptop or whatever, is actually in Canada. So it's a beautiful thing. That means no matter where you are, you have the means to make additional revenue. So I recommend that, but only after you are a certified mediator. We also have my director mentioned the restorative justice. We have the restorative justice training. It's also for people that are already mediators. When you are taught how to handle criminal cases, but right now it's done through the Ministry of Justice. We get our cases through the Ministry of Justice, which once in a while will appoint an RJ facilitator to come and take on the matter. So in it, you can handle even manslaughter cases, okay, which you cannot handle normally in mediation or so. So this is where offender and victim offender is called victim offender mediation. That's VOM. So you are taught how to use VOM to facilitate the resolution of dispute and the restitution of the offender. The offender makes restitution to the victim, such that the victim is restored as close as possible to his or her state before that offense, before that victimization took place. So I won't go into the details, but these are some of the courses we actually give out to people who are interested. We also have the case management training. This is where lawyers especially are trained on how to manage cases. How to manage cases, because you don't just take parties and then say, okay, you have a problem, okay, let us resolve. No, there are so many things involved. For example, in the multi-door, you are taught how to screen cases to know which one is even ADR amenable, which one is for mediation, which one is for arbitration, which one, do you understand? So which one should not even be there, should go back to litigation. So they are taught how to screen, how to now get the parties to submit to the mediation, how to handle parties. But people can be difficult. You have counsels that are difficult. They teach you how to be able to communicate and get through those barriers and get the parties to come in and sit for the mediation. They also handle all the feedback, making sure that parties are ready with the items they need for the next session, etc. So it's a whole lot. That training is also there. For their costs, anyone that indicates interest will give them the cost. Training manager, how much is case management? 100. Okay, that's the one that is 100,000. But I can say something. If the Rotary Club decides to get you as a team and give us up to no less than 10 participants, you will going to get a discount of 10%. So no, it's a Lagos state government. So they have structured payment. Structure is the key communication. Structure. You will write before you even are entitled to the 10%. There's also, can I say something? There's also another way you can have it cheaper. It is called bespoke training. So we can give you a bespoke MST training. What does this mean? Rotary Club can decide, my director, am I the right track? Rotary Club can decide that they want to train about 18 or 24 of their members. They will provide the venue. They will make sure we have conducive environment, which includes breakout rooms, because we will need at least 4 to 5 breakout rooms. Breakout rooms are where we start the practice of mediation itself. This is a hall that is already fantastic for the general 2 days program and also for the plenaries at the end of each day, gather again. But the crop of it during the coaching and the assessment is done very hard. At least 5, at the very least 5. So what the visible part is that you can now, we're not collaborating with you. You are providing the material. We are going to tell what we want. You are going to pay the faculty. You are going to handle everything. Then you are going to pay what we call royalty to the government. Do you understand? So that can be negotiated and discussed. So I think I've come to the end of training program. Okay, with this we come to the end. Okay, if you have a question.
Yes, I wanted to know if the mentorship program also paid for.
Every program is paid for.
Okay, what is the cost of the mentorship?
Mentorship program, if you were trained by the Multi-Door Courthouse from November, which is the next intake, is 100,000. From November, we're not taking before November because we have enough people on the program right now that have finished, that are currently. That's why we don't want to overcrowd it. We're not so crazy about the money. We want to make sure we give it back. And then and at the end of the mentorship program, we have a graduation ceremony. Okay. All right. Thank you.
You didn't mention when the 500K.
510.
510. You mentioned the period. The period.
I said it's okay. MAT and MST come with account. So April, July, and November. Any other question? So, any other question? Okay.
This year, I want to find out. Thank you so much. Very understandable.
Thank you, sir.
I want to find out the result, that is the award by the ADR, whether it is possible.
Okay, you mean when the mediation is concluded, whether it's possible?
I'm aware that for the matter that is being referred by the court to a multi-door courthouse, I know I'm aware that they usually give the feedback to the judge or to the court rather.
Okay, so you're asking whether the ones that did working, the ones that came by themselves.
The one that won't come by himself without being referred by the court. When you give the award, can it be enforced?
Yes, it can. So there's a process where you take. Okay, so at the end of the mediation, it goes to an ADR judge who will now call the parties again to be sure that they agreed that what is here is what they agreed. After that, the judge will sign on it and make it a consent judgment, right? Hold on.
I think you're referring to the terms of settlement. I want to arbitration with the different process. Yes. For the terms of settlement, yeah, like you said, you go through a process, still ends up with an ADR judge, and parties will appear before the judge to adopt it, but also adopt it as consent judgment.
So in that circumstance, are you going to file normal court process like file the ring of something?
Yes.
And then now bring that
yes, you attach
it. That is, this is what we are doing. We adopted as our terms of consent. Thank you.
Yes.
So thank you. No more questions, right? Okay, let's go.
So I have two questions. The first is, are there privately owned firms that are strictly ADR focused? So they are not litigation firms, they are not
the short answer is yes.
Yes.
And that when you become a mediator that knows how only, you can open your own mediation center. You will equip it such that it is up to the right standard. Then you see your clients, you will start posting yourself, and your exposure will bring you more clients, and your integrity will become your referral.
Then the second question is, so there are some agreements where in the last bit they say, oh, in case of dispute resolution, dispute or conflict, blah, 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 this agreement is subject to arbitration and something, 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 right? And there are cases where you sign an agreement and that part where we're talking about dispute resolution, it stated that this agreement is subject to ADR or whatnot. Does that mean that whatever our dispute is, we cannot? So let me give a clear instance. I signed an agreement that said between me and my client that says, oh, I render this service to you, blah 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 blah. If any dispute comes up, we're opting for ADR. And then a dispute comes up and the client is sending her lawyers to write to me and tell me that, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I'm like, is that the actual procedure, or is there something I'm missing? Or should we be going to mediation before the lawyer is calling me to threaten me about suing me and sending me to court?
Okay, I guess you're talking about the dispute resolution clause in an agreement.
Yes.
That sets out the events of disputes, parties will negotiate, mediate, public arbitration, or whatever it is. Yeah, so it is there for a reason. Parties are bound by the agreement.
Yes.
So if, for example, your clause says arbitration, for example, you can't even go to court. And if you go to court, the court will go back to arbitration, but that's what it says. So if you have saying that, no, I want to go my way, if they eventually get to court, the court should make sure that they will tell them to go by what the agreement says. So if it says mediation first, you must have explored mediation before any other meeting. Thank you.
So with this, we've come to the end of our presentation. Thank you very much, and I hope this will be helpful for you. Thank you.
Hello, Rotarians. Once again, let us give it to our facilitators, especially Justin and Ikeja. We appreciate you today for your efforts and the knowledge that you practiced today. You've given us a further insight into what mediation is all about, and you have told us that mediation is preferable to litigation. And that even if there is no litigation, they are not sending lawyers out of the So, it's the same thing we are saying. It's the same thing we are saying. So, on this note, I want to present this award of appreciation to Mrs. Justina Ikeja, Deputy Director and Head of Corporate Services, Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse, in recognition of your invaluable service and dedication to excellence in the workshop of the Peace Building, Conflict Resolution and Prevention Committee of 9112 on the mediation and rules of resolving conflicts in our environment. Your guidance has helped our participants elevate both their skills and mindsets, and this award is dated today, Saturday, the 19th of May 2026. Please, if you answer not to receive this, let's please come with seats, please. This young lady has been the engine of what we have done today. When I came, I saw that we've been moving about to ensure that everything works the way it should. And we can't thank you enough. Ms. Cynthia, Principal, Admin, and HR Officer, Training Officer, Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse. in recognition of the valuable service and dedication to excellence in the workshop of peace building and conflict prevention and resolution, our district 911 has considered the award of this award of appreciation today, Saturday, the 9th day of May 2026. Thank you, Ms. Cynthia Wade. Fellow Rotarians, I think I should also thank you too for creating time to be here, because what we have come to do today is a worldwide endeavor. I believe that in one way or the other, we have benefited from the scholarship, the knowledge, and the expertise of our facilitators from the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse. I want to thank you all for coming. Thank you for the knowledge that you have imparted, and we believe that when we call you, we will come again. For us, we learn every day, and Rotary itself is a dynamic and knowledge-driven organization. So this is another aspect of learning. We can, when they give us their rates and guidelines, we will write to them to give us discounts so that they can help people within our organization to take those courses. And I think you said the next one is July and November. So it can be anytime, okay? Yeah. Do you want to do this anytime soon?
Yes, sir. We'll mobilize. Don't worry, we're gonna mobilize. No, this one.
Do I take your work that you want to do another one? Yes.
Digital training.
You want to go to the office?
And they can give us discount there. We can come there too. But a very good discount.
So it's all about distance now.
It's all about distance.
Okay. So knowledge and distance, that's what we want from you. No, it's not going to be individual. We come as a group. We can come as a group. That's the one of 50,000.
So what's the discount for that one? If we do it.
What's the minimum?
Give us 15.
No. Number, not money. Yes, for that discount. No limit. Yes.
They are asking for discount
Okay.
now.
Oh, we're talking about the number of people. Is there any minimum? Yes. Okay, so we're good at this. On this note, it's my honor and pleasure to declare this workshop closed, and let us rise for the national anthem. See you another time. This workshop is important to me. That's why I stayed from the beginning to the end. Our sister district in 9111, they are holding their conference now. They wanted me to be with them since Thursday, but I said I have an assignment here. Charity begins at home. So when I leave here, I'm going to approach the. So that shows you how important I consider this workshop for me to stay here, because we have to be together. So thank you, fellow Rotarians. I believe that at the end of the day, when you take your certificate, just brag about it to those who didn't come, so that they will know that they missed knowledge. So thank you again, our facilitators from Lagos Multi-Door. So thank you. On this note, let's take the national anthem. Oh
Those trials of in brotherhood we stand. Nigeria's all about to serve our sovereign motherland.
Thank you, many messages.
So let's take a group photo. Comfort.
Please come and make us comfortable here. Let us